Thank you for joining us, everybody. We're going to get our show started in just a couple of seconds here. I want to remind everybody, if you could just share this broadcast, we would greatly appreciate it because it would help us get more views and make the show a lot more exciting for live interaction. So please, don't forget to share the broadcast. We also appreciate all of your likes and comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and get ready for Spit the Wits. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to this show that was entirely produced and developed by the people sitting in front of you. Jessy, Meadows, and Frankie Almost. Brought to you in part by Rolling Hills Productions. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Spit the Wit. Jessy, if you would be so kind, would you please tell us what today's show's about?
Well, today we're super excited. We started a little bit later because we wanted to have our guests talk about their work at Critical Care Comics. So that'll be fun.
And now, here is your host, Frankie Almost.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Yes, we finally got the show up and running. We wanted to make sure that we had a nice long time to get ready for today's show because of its specialness. We have in the studio with us a couple of people from Critical Care Comics, and we're going to have them on camera right now to tell you a little bit about what Critical Care Comics actually is. So, let's welcome Amanda and Danny Ballard.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
So tell us what Critical Care Comics is, guys.
Danny, you're on the board.
Critical Care Comics is a Nevada nonprofit corporation that delivers comic books to children in hospitals while dressed as superheroes.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
That's, pretty much it. It's founded by Jason Golden, who had leukemia when he was 14, so he spent a lot of time in and out of the hospital. And his parents kept his pull box going for him at the comic book shop.
Okay.
Would bring him his comics, so he'd have something to do at the hospital. So when he got older, he thought, hey, I'd like to pay that forward. I think it'd be a cool idea. And then it just started out as him and his wife, taking comics to kids. And then some cosplayers joined on who liked the idea. And it's gotten bigger and bigger since. And this June, I will actually have been with him for 5 years.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I'm going on 2 years with them this year.
And what is it that you do, Amanda?
I'm a cosplayer.
Yeah.
So if anybody doesn't know what cosplay is, it's basically costume, play, and then just merge that together.
Right.
I do Raven from DC's Teen Titans.
Okay.
And it's actually a really popular character. I had no idea who this character was, legit. And Cody, our Batman, suggested that I should be Raven, so I started researching online, and I watched the show, and I was like, oh, okay, so she's grumpy. Yeah, that's me, too. So, okay.
Rogue is still my favorite.
Rogue, yes. Yeah. I do Rogue, Jim Lee's Rogue, the green and yellow Rogue, for Critical Care as well.
Okay.
And today I'm Jessica Jones because it's been a long week and I wanted to be comfortable.
Who's Jessica Jones?
Jessica Jones is an ass-kicking Marvel heroine.
Okay.
You can actually see her on Netflix.
Or you can pick up the comic book Alias.
That too,
Yeah.
or Alias, absolutely. She's actually with Luke Cage. She's part of the Defenders.
Right.
Which we're hoping to get a series or a movie or something with the Defenders.
Okay. So we definitely have some manga people in here right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, that's my weak point. I know a few things, and that's just like your basic. Like I'm your hanger, like the kind that jumped on the bandwagon kind of guy because of the of all the films that have been coming out recently. So I didn't know who Iron Man was until Tony Stark was
so
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh.
Exactly. So
See, like, gosh, if you had like a tech guy right
Yeah.
now, right up in like this corner here, I'd put up a picture of you as Tony Stark at that free comic book day.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
best
We did a long time.
picture.
I was Robert
took that
Kirkman at that
picture.
one.
right, we
Yeah.
could actually post that in the comments later on, because
Okay.
most of our views actually come later on in the week, as you know, with your episode that we had you on here earlier, Danny, and throughout the week, that's when we start getting like a lot of replays, because it is Friday night, it's 8:00, people are out partying and stuff like that, and we understand.
Getting drunk,
So
all that.
yeah, so but we'll definitely get the views and stuff, and we are taking live calls too for anybody that wants to call in and talk to these guys about any kind of thing, whether you be a friend of theirs or just want to find out more about stuff or have questions that pertain to comics, which I'm, like I said, is my very weak point. I'm not the comic book dude.
I'm actually pretty weak on comics.
Are
as
you
well.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I grew up reading some of the X-Men comics.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
that
me too.
was like pretty much it. So the comic book thing is relatively new to me as well. Like my boyfriend Steven, he's a comic book collector, and I guess Captain America went bad. He went to Hydra, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I have to read this.
Yeah,
so
see, I
he
didn't
let
even
me
know
read.
that, yeah.
And I was like, oh, and I flipped through it and was like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
So, and the kids love it. They absolutely love it.
We have a Dale and Ditwiller. He came in here and said hello.
Hi,
well, he
Dale.
actually said fat beard, LOL.
LOL.
And then we have Red McLean, who said,
Oh,
I know
God.
those dweebs. He called you dweebs.
Fuck you, Red.
It's funny, dude, that somebody would call somebody a dweeb, because it kind of I
like
kind
the
of feel like
biggest
you
dweeb of
I
all.
feel like you have to be a dweeb to even say dweeb, right?
Yeah.
Right. Shut up, you ginger.
Yeah. Red's been on the show a couple of times, as you guys might have known or not known. So, okay, so let's go back to the critical care thing.
Yes.
How and often do you guys go and do this comic book run thing?
We try and do we do UMC once a month, and we do St. Rose Siena campus once
Okay.
a month. As far as I know, we're trying to work on other hospitals.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think we could do up to 2 more visits, like once a week.
Yeah.
Michael, who's our Spider-Man, sits on the board. He's the director of hospital relations. So,
And he's amazing. Like
yeah.
I have to give a major shout out to Michael because
pun
he-
intended.
Yeah, amazing Spider-Man. Hey.
See, I was
See what
all,
you did?
and then I'm like, I get it. Even I get it. All right.
No, I have to give a major shout out to him because he is there for everything.
Yeah.
All the time, always there. When we can't be there.
Oh no,
so.
he's great. He's
Yeah.
he's
But yeah, we do St. Rose, which is during the week, so it's a lot harder for some of the cosplayers to get that time off. But UMC, oh man, that's my jam. I love UMC.
yeah. We do that on a
Saturdays.
Saturday. It's not a
Saturdays.
set one like the second or third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so any hospitals who'd be interested in having us, visit our website, use a contact form, visit our Facebook page.
Okay.
The website's www.criticalcarecomics.vegas.
Okay.
You can find us on Facebook under Critical Care Comics. You can click the little message button on Facebook and get in touch with us that way. It's the same way if you want to donate comic books. But we also do events too. So every third Thursday we've been joining Celestial Comics, and you've been at those, so you should talk about that a little bit.
It was actually really fun. I went to the last March 16th, and that was my first time going, and it was great. They had was it Mix 98.5?
And I was
They
at
had
the last night.
98.5 out there.
I was doing another
playing music.
podcast while
I
that
think-
was going
I
on.
think
If it was Mix, it was
98.5.
probably 94.1.
94.
Yeah,
No, maybe.
that's who goes by the name Mix.
Mix, yeah. But they had a radio station out there, and then they had classic cars going on. Oh my
Nice.
gosh, these
Nice.
cars were beautiful. And we had people pulling us as the cosplayers. Hey, come take a picture with my car, and it was really fun.
Oh, that'd be
and
cool.
we were doing raffles. Critical Care does a lot of raffles.
Nice.
You don't have to pay to enter anything. You just if you show up, you get a raffle ticket. You don't even have to stay. You just write down your email
That's cool.
address, and we'll email you if you're the winner.
Nice.
And actually, we just did a giveaway for a specific Batman comic.
Yeah, really famous Neil Adams cover.
Yeah, with the Joker on it, right?
Yeah, it had the Joker holding Batman on the card.
And that was for getting 3,000 likes. You know, we get some amazing donations to Critical Care. Last year, we were at Amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con.
What is that?
It is a convention. That
Is it like the Comic-Con, the actual Comic-Con,
Yes.
but it's the Vegas version?
It's the Vegas version.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we had like Wizard World coming here. They're not coming here anymore because Wizard World's not really happening anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was some scandal with
Did
Wizard
you hear
World.
this? She's huge on Potter stuff.
Oh,
There's no
okay.
more Wizard
Oh,
World.
Oh, it's not.
No,
It's
no,
not
no,
Harry
it's
Potter.
not Harry Potter.
Oh.
Oh.
No, it's actually.
I thought you were
Wizard
talking.
World-
See,
was
I
a-
shouldn't
It
be
was a
talking.
magazine.
So there was a Wizard magazine when I was a
Oh.
kid that you would get that would have like kind of like comic book price guide stuff and
Right.
stories and things like that. And then they stopped doing that for some reason. I don't know
They
why.
started making money off.
And
of
then they started doing these
cons.
conventions. But I just read an article the other day about these conventions, and really Star Trek started all this shit. I used to
yeah.
complain all the time about how, because I'm a huge Star Trek fan, how you got to be rich to be a Star Trek fan. You really, like, if you want to do
Right.
all this stuff, because their convention tickets are hundreds of dollars.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
want to get a picture taken with William Shatner, it's like $200. And I was actually at the convention that was Leonard Nimoy's last convention.
Oh, were you?
And I'm really
Yeah.
upset that I didn't shell out the dough to
do
get,
it.
because now he's gone. But my son is in the William Shatner documentary Captains.
Oh, is he really?
Devin is in that. He's the one that, and I have like my recording of it on the YouTube, on my personal YouTube channel. But if you watch Captains, there's a part where
Okay.
a kid asks William Shatner, "What's your favorite dramatic scream, Spock or Khan?" And then he has he's like, "Well, what do you mean? Like when did I yell Spock?" He was like, Wrath of Khan. You're like, Spock, and like so like Shatner's like asks him to do it, and so he does it and gets a good response
Okay.
out of the crowd. But then Shatner goes, "What are my favorite screams? Screams of ecstasy," but you wouldn't know anything about that. And Devin was so devastated because he was really young. It was when he had long hair.
Right.
It was like 7 years ago, so he would have been like 11. And yeah, it was funny. He didn't even say his name or thank you, and he just kind of turns around and walks off. And then Shatner's like, "Oh, okay, bye-bye." And that made it into the movie, which I thought
Yeah.
was pretty funny.
That is
So-
pretty funny.
Cute.
Yeah.
And speaking of cons like that, I'm holding a cup right now for Supernatural.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's a television series.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I got sidetracked on my rant, though. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, about the article that I read the other day. So, like, all these, like Steve Amell, apparently, he has his own, I don't know what you would call it, but basically, like, agency that sets up, like, brokers, like, stars to go to these conventions or whatever.
Okay.
And a lot of these actors are making more money doing these conventions than they actually make for the episode. Like the examples they were given, like Norman Reedus averages about $500,000 a convention.
A convention.
And now Andrew Lincoln, I can't remember what they said, it was like $250,000 or something, but he donates all of his to charity. Which I think is cool. I've always had kind of because the articles said something funny like, it used to be for old sci-fi, has-beens and things like that, but now everybody's getting on this gravy train, and I feel like, I don't know, I have really mixed feelings about it because it's like you wouldn't have this job, you wouldn't be famous if it weren't for all these fans anyway.
That's true.
And it's almost kind of like a kick in the nuts when it's
I agree.
now I got to pay you an obscene. Like
No.
if I didn't, they don't have to make $500,000 in a weekend. Why don't you cut your signing fees in half? Make $250,000, $250,000, still a lot of fucking money to make on a weekend.
Right,
Excuse
right.
my language.
Seriously.
And then more fans would be able to afford to do it. It's like all this stuff caters to super rich people or the elite people, or then you get hardworking people who save up their money and they do this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Pretty much applies to every single aspect of life in America, doesn't it?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Everything caters to the rich, and
Yeah.
nobody really cares about the little guy.
Well,
They say they do, but nobody really cares about us little guys that are broke and shit.
I mean, speak for yourself. I'm fucking loaded. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're loaded. I'm not.
Shut up. Ain't none of us are loaded. Get out. But yeah, like the Supernatural con.
I wish.
I mean, it was fun. I only went for one day, but for one day, The entrance fee alone was like $150 for one day.
Oh my God!
And then I met Jensen Ackles. Love you, Jensen. And he plays Dean Winchester. Well, a freaking photo op with him was $150. So literally spent $300 for one day of a convention.
Jeez. That's ridiculous.
But to be fair, at the same time, I'm also a member of the Hillywood Show. Shout out to Hillywood Show.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that a little bit, and how you were in our music video too. That has almost 1 million views. It's coming up on 1 million views. Wow. I know you're already in. I know you're already in some that have millions of views. Yeah. But this is us.
That's amazing.
Okay?
I did not know that. That's great. Is that the Alice?
The Alice in Wonderland, when you were the Cheshire Cat. It's called Exhibition on YouTube by Icy Tens. And
done it double shot.
She's the Cheshire Cat who's enticing my wife during the thing to smoke a hookah and all this kind of stuff and dancing around.
I'm the bad
and it has 700 and something thousand views.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So
crazy,
we're going to be celebrating soon when it hits the 100.
Yeah, let me know when you do
the $1 million.
Oh, that actually reminds me of something. If anybody, back to critical care, we have some really good ideas and some things that we would really like to do that involve videography. So, like, if there's anybody who can donate their time or services to help critical care comics, we have some videos that we would like to have made that we've actually already. I can't say too much about it, so I could kind of be vague, but it would definitely get exposure. It would be played on a local television station.
Nice.
But it's not something we can afford, to pay for. So if there's anybody who'd like to donate their services, of course they get full credit for it.
What format exposure. Would you want it recorded in? Like HD?
Yeah, it's got to be for television.
But you're not like demanding like 4K or something like that?
No. Just got to be shot formatted for television.
Yeah, okay.
And with critical care, isn't Jason up for the Acts of Kindness Award?
I don't know if he's up for it again or not.
Or was that just a replay?
I know they did a piece on him, but I think that I honestly don't know, and I should as the chief marketing officer or whatever. I should know that stuff. But
let's go to the room here, Jess. I see a lot of comments.
Yeah.
Do you see these like Stacy Ballard's in the room, Roxanne, people like that?
Hey, from all the kids, shout out Salty Dove Pops.
That's my son.
Oh, what's up, Devin?
What's he doing? Shouldn't he be aren't you at work?
Yeah, he's skipping work.
No. He does good work. He works at a place called, I want to give them a little plug, Sports Social. So not a lot of people know this. My close friends know this, but my youngest son has autism. Devin's little brother has autism. And Devin works at a place called Sports Social, and they work with autistic kids. So Devin is also a big skateboarder.
He's amazing.
So follow him on Instagram, Salty Dev.
I've seen some videos that you've posted on Facebook.
He's I don't want to brag on him too much, because give him a big head.
Right.
But he gets to use his skateboarding, his love of skateboarding. He teaches autistic kids, among other things, but how to skateboard and how to be social and interact. So he does good work.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Yeah.
A kid. He's 18, but
he's still a kid to us.
Yeah. So and then the other one, Stacy. That's my second ex-wife. I guess. Hi, Stacy.
Hello, Stacy.
I love Stacy. Stacy cosplays as Poison Ivy.
She cosplays as a lot of stuff.
A lot of things. She's beautiful. I love her.
Yeah.
And Roxanne was talking about how even musicians don't make that kind of money. Going back to the cosplay thing. To the Comic-Con convention thing. Yeah. That musicians don't get paid that much for that kind of work.
Well, here's the thing with the comic book conventions that kind of upsets both cosplayers and fans. I've literally had almost every single person that I have paid to meet cancel. The first time was Norman.
But life happens, man.
I know, and I know that, but it sucks because
I'm less mad about that than
my boyfriend.
$200.
Seriously, my boyfriend Steven and I just went up to Salt Lake and to meet Stan Lee. Stan Lee.
Right.
Yeah. No.
And it's Friday night.
I comic to get signed for me too. So.
Yeah, we get up there. It's Friday night, 9:30. And he cancels.
Right. Well, isn't he like 90 years old?
He's 94 years old. He has health problems. But the problem is, I'm like, really, Salt Lake? You didn't know that he was going to cancel?
I knew he was going to cancel, and I was going to say something to Steven because he canceled the one. There was one. Gosh, I don't know if it was New York. Yeah. So he had just canceled one prior. So I when Steven came over to get the comic, part of me was like, Yeah,
But
he's probably going to
paid
cancel,
for
right?
it, though. Like, that's the problem. Like,
We get a
when
refund,
you
right? You'll get a refund.
You get a refund.
I mean, you can't get the
for-
time back of the driving and all that.
But you don't get the hotel back either.
Yeah.
Because
Here's the thing.
We got to meet Carrie always.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Completely, like,
really?
not as a...
Yes, Princess Bride, Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So completely as a non-needy fan, because I'm not a big comic book guy. Stan Lee, cool, great guy, everything.
Yeah, he's the creator.
However, if I made, and I'm assuming he's a multi-millionaire, if I made that money and I still had to go and do a convention at 94 years old, I don't think I'd be a very happy multi-millionaire.
I think he loves
not
doing
like
it.
that.
I think
Yeah,
he
if he
likes
likes doing it, that's different.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. He
at his
does it
age,
for the fans.
there's no way he'd be.
It's
doing
like
it
I'm a
for-
musician, and
I don't think he's hurting for the money.
right.
No.
I mean, I'm a musician,
Did he sell
and
Marvel?
I would think that like even as a musician that I wouldn't want to like go like at 94 years old like every year on and on and on to meet with my fans and talk about the songs that I've written. I'd just be like, look, they're out there. I'm glad that you love them.
If I made it to 94, I'd just be so happy to be alive.
Right.
I'd be everywhere I could.
Really? I don't think I'd want to
Yeah.
be like wheeled around and worried about
yeah.
tanks and things like that. And is there going to be freaking defibrillators for me in case I go?
I worry
here?
about that now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, hard attack man.
Oh man.
But yeah, getting back to Critical Care. Sorry, we got a little off
Yes.
topic there. Amazing Las Vegas Comic Con is coming up in June, and Critical Care will be there. Like Danny said, we are a non-profit organization.
Right.
We are able to accept money as donations.
Do you guys have a donation
Yes.
place? Like, is it through GoFundMe kind of things?
Oh, no.
How does it go? How does it
That
work?
wouldn't be a bad idea.
If
I
somebody,
guess.
yeah, you guys should do that. It actually worked for us. She donated to me.
Good. Because I've known Frankie and Jess for
About 3 or 4 years.
4 years.
Four
well,
years.
I've known you longer.
For about 4 or
and-
5, yeah.
Yeah, about 5 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
I mean,
the big thing is comic books. So you can drop comic books off at Cosmic Comics on Sand Hill, Flamingo.
Cheese Boy.
At Cheese Boy Comics,
On Celestial.
Rainbow on Rainbow and what Wigwam, I think it's close to there.
BFE.
And then it's not that. It depends on where you live. We could try to cover all sides of town. And then Celestial Comics up by.
Let's be optimistic and assume that a billionaire is watching the show right now. If he wanted to just give you guys a shit ton of money, where should he give it to you at?
Well, the address, he can just mail us a check, and the address is on our website and our Facebook page.
Okay.
Or you can always
So
reach
then tell
out
us the
to-
website again.
It's criticalcarecomics.vegas, www.criticalcarecomics.vegas.
Okay,
And
cool.
if anybody has any questions, you can always go to Fatbeard
Right.
on Facebook. I have a cosplay page, which is www.facebook.com/Amanda Setsuna. That's SETSUNA cosplay. And you can reach out to me. I'm always on my phone. So.
Or they could call right now.
Or they can
'cause-
call right now.
Does it work? I tried calling it earlier to be cute, and it didn't ring.
Oh, we have the ringer turned off, and I
Is that what it
probably
was?
wasn't looking at the phone because we don't. We had it where the ringer was actually ringing, but it was totally like interrupting our stories so we have the light that Amanda sent us from our Amazon wish list,
Yes.
and it lights up, but it's not like super bright where it's noticeable. So if I was looking at you at the time when you were calling, that's why I didn't see the phone.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yes, the number is mostly posted. It's actually not posted in that shot, but it's posted in this shot.
702-749-8840. Call in now with your questions, comments, or concerns.
Do it, baby. Do it.
Right. Especially after that. So, okay. So, getting to that, you're in cosplay gear. Is there a way that we could get you to stand up-ish and show us what you're wearing there, Amanda?
This is.
See? Headphones. There you go. Okay.
This is what I like to call a cosplay closet. Closet cosplay.
So we-
basically,
Right.
I own this jacket. I own this tank top. I own the jeans.
Just
I own the boots, which you can't see.
Right.
But, so I pulled everything out of the closet, and my friend Holly, thank you so much. She let me borrow this black wig because my hair is normally black, but I dyed it red.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Interesting.
So she let me borrow the wig. So massive shout out to
Are you
Holly, babe.
regretting dyeing it red?
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt to keep up with.
She dyed her hair red at one point,
Don't do
and
it. Yeah.
it turned into a hair catastrophe.
It is. It was beautiful, but having to keep up with the roots and all that, yeah, I'm good. So.
Right.
But yes, so this is a closet cosplay, but my Raven cosplay for Critical Care, that's taken about a year to fully put together. Our Spider-Man, Michael, he was very kind. As a birthday gift, he bought me the black suit. I've paid for this guy named Steve Mathis. Shout out to Steve Mathis if he's listening. He 3D rendered my belt, my brooch, and my hand pieces, and then he made it out of 3D printing and sent it to me with the red stones in it are just acrylic cutouts, and he did all of that 3D. It was great.
Nice.
I just recently upgraded my cape. Because I made my first cape myself, first time I've ever used a sewing machine, because everything I've done is hand sewn. I hand sew everything. It takes forever. So I purchased my cape through an Etsy seller, Catherine, shout out to Catherine, and it's beautiful. So now I'm working on a new wig, and then once I get the new wig done...
I remember at one point you were cosplaying as Sailor Moon. Is that
Sailor Pluto?
Sailor
Yes.
Pluto. Okay.
I do cosplay Sailor Pluto. I had a series of unfortunate events with that cosplay. The staff broke, unfortunately, and the costume itself. My best friend moved out of state. And I had the cosplay in my trunk because I had just used it for a photo shoot with Scott Tilton, who is my photographer and a dear friend of mine. And I had it in my trunk, and I went to go clean her apartment when she moved, and I put bleach in the trunk, and it spilled onto the Sailor Pluto costume. So I have to remake that entire costume, and that was about 5 years of work because, as I said, I hand sewed that entire thing. So
is this the costume that you wore to Akimatsuri?
Yes,
yeah,
it was, and that was what, 2011?
Yeah, I think, or 12. I think it was 12. Yeah,
and I also wore it to Double Shots. I miss that place.
Yeah, everybody does.
Double Shots for cosplay night, the party that you threw there.
Cosplay karaoke.
Cosplay karaoke.
That was fun.
Oh my gosh, we have to talk about how I got into Critical Care because of you. It was because of Danny. Danny had an event, and it was the rock band karaoke.
Oh, the Christmas one.
Yeah, the Christmas.
Oh yeah,
one.
yeah, we did it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
it was.
So, go ahead.
Oh man, so we did an event at this restaurant, Sauce.
Oh, I love that
Sauce.
food.
Okay, I remember that place. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was doing my Walking Dead viewing watching Dead rather viewing parties there, and we're always like Jason and Cody and I, we always try to come up with like fun ways to do like little fundraisers or whatever, and so we got Cosmic Comics in with us, and we made some cool little videos, and we did like a cosplay rock band karaoke event with a costume contest, and she won.
Oh yeah, yeah,
and. Yeah, I guess like you hit it off with everybody, and
I went there. My best friend.
What
Elisa,
were you? That was a weird,
I was okay.
Tricky
All right,
costume.
all right. Let me explain. Okay, so my best friend Elisa had left town. She'd just been visiting me. You remember Elisa? Right?
Of course,
Of course, yeah. She had left town, and I was super sad. And Danny's like, "Oh, I got this thing going on." I was like, "Okay, I have this Alice Late but Lucky costume." And basically, what that is. It's a video game called Alice Madness Returns, and it's basically like the goth version of Alice in Wonderland. Like, she goes to the dark side, basically, and there's all these different kind of dresses that have these different abilities. Well, I really like the Late but Lucky one, which is basically Alice mixed with the White Rabbit. Okay. So I did not make that costume. If you want to see it, you can always go to my cosplay page. But I did not make that. I paid somebody good money to make it, and it's beautiful. The only
it was
thing
worth it. You won a big Superman statue.
And I still display that to this day in my home.
You don't even like Superman.
I do too. He's my favorite of DC. I hate Batman.
Why do you hate Batman? What's wrong with Batman?
I don't know.
She doesn't like DC at all. So don't find.
I don't like DC.
Yeah, she don't like
Justice.
DC.
I can't. But Superman I love because he can fly and he's handsome and just, Anyway, so I wore the costume, and I had no idea what Critical Care was, but they had a booth at at the event, and Batman, Cody, approached me, and he was like, hey, your costume's, like, really amazing. Come check out our booth. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did, and then I won the contest, and then Michael, Spider-Man, is the one's like, hey, I'm part of this, too. You should really get involved. So I was like, okay, cool, and I did as Rogue.
Okay.
From X-Men.
Yeah.
That's his favorite.
It is.
Nobody knew who the hell I was. I'd walk into a hospital room and the kids are like, they're going, do you know who this person is? Do you know who this person is? Who's that? And they're like, I have no fucking clue. So I was like, this isn't really working. Cody's like,
I'm play the role of Michael here. Language.
I thought we could swear a little.
No, you can.
You can.
It's PG-13. I thought because of today's subject matter that we should lighten up on the cussing a little more than usual because of Critical Care Comics in respect to them. But
yes.
But you guys call the shots on that because you guys are the ones that are mainly involved. So.
Well, I've made it kind of known this one may not be appropriate for the kiddos.
Okay, good.
But yeah, so that's how I got started in Critical Care, and I started off as Rogue, and eventually progressed to Raven, which is great because sometimes when I go to the hospitals, especially UMC, I don't know what it is about UMC, but I'll go into a room and they have Teen Titans playing on the TV.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then we also have a Starfire, and you guys are great with each
Oh,
other.
God, Cheyenne. Cheyenne's this amazing cosplayer. She is beautiful, and she's so talented. She makes the most beautiful costumes
And thanks to her,
ever.
we are 1 degree of separation. Well, actually, I was already a degree of separation from Bruce Campbell. She got to. There's a cool video of her where she dressed up as Ash, and he brought her up. I think he put money in her pocket and everything, and gave her a kiss, I think, on the cheek or something.
Oh my gosh, yes, Bruce
was,
Campbell.
Oh yeah, but I was already, because of the Evil Dead gang. They did a show with him, or he introduced them one night. So
Shout out to Cheyenne because she is amazing. She has made she made Tia's Supergirl costume. She made our Deadpool's like ninja something. I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry.
She makes things, but she makes things. My favorite thing about her though is that she stays in character the whole time,
all the time
at the hospital.
She never
that's great.
stops.
Yeah. It's like
So they never
acting.
catch her.
Yeah.
She's always
That's good.
Starfire. And if you don't know,
And
Starfire
it's
and
funny.
Raven are actually, like my character Raven, they're actually besties, but Raven doesn't like to show it. She's like, oh my God. But she really loves her, and Starfire's from another planet, so she says things like, oh, what does this mean, friend Raven? And I'm like, oh my God, shut up. Stop talking to me. I'm trying to meditate. Oh, Azeroth, Metreon, Zinthos.
It's really cool being in it. As long as I've seen a lot of progression. You know, like you and Cheyenne are really good together. Min and our Deadpool and Spider-Man are great.
Oh, they're hilarious.
They're great together. And
that's what we try to do when we go to the hospitals. Like we're just trying to make kids happy. Like there are some times I've gone into the hospital where I work in the medical field anyway, and I go into a hospital and I see a kid on chemo, or I see a kid that's just in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I'm not really a big like kid person, but I
Right.
have like a really, really soft spot for the kids that are sick because nobody deserves that.
Yeah, especially not kids.
Nobody, especially
Yeah.
kids. I mean, you're 10 years old
Right.
and you're on chemotherapy.
There's nothing you could have done
That's
to...
not
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Like that makes me so unhappy. So if I can go in and be Raven for a day and bring them a stack of comic books, that I leave the hospital sometimes crying because
Yeah.
I'm so happy
Yeah.
that
I
I
hear
made
you.
their day.
I hear you. I've actually, just done some mascot work where I'm actually completely it's not cosplay. I'm a complete mascot.
Oh, okay.
And I've danced around and pointed at them and stuff like that, and had people from all ages, old and young, that I just completely made their day, and they like told me that, and I'm in the costume. I'm like, luckily nobody can see because I'm in
Right.
the costume.
But that's another problem. Like at least the Spider-Man, Batman, who else is that? Deadpool. They can cry if they want when they're in the hospital. Whereas you got the females that went through like an hour of makeup, and you're like, oh my God, please don't cry.
Right.
Please don't cry, because then you're gonna leave streaks down your face and. But the kids are amazing.
Yeah.
Even if they don't like superheroes, like we've come across that a few times, where you go into a hospital room and the kids are like, we're like, hey, what's your favorite superhero? And they're like, I don't have one.
Oh, which brings up another point, which we do accept other things in comic books because sometimes we run into kids who, like she said, they don't like superheroes, but they like Disney.
Disney.
So like we get like those the younger Disney books. Coloring books are good. Things, just things that Like
and you don't have to donate just comic books or money. Like if you have toys or anything like that that's related to superheroes, you can always donate those too, because we give out comic books, we give out plushies, we give out coloring books, we give out whatever we can to the kids. And a friend of mine, Amanda Cisa, she makes beautiful little hair bows, and we gave those out a couple times to the kids in the hospitals, and they just freaking went insane for those.
Things like itty bitties, we'll give those to like the young, because sometimes
what's an itty bitty?
They're like little
Spider-Man.
we'll have to post them in the comics.
Are they like the big-headed things?
No. Those would be pops. These are like little
Pops
little
with
teeny tiny plush things. You get them at Hallmark. And
Yeah, and you can give them at any age. Any age.
Yeah. Do they have any of Tony Stark, not Iron Man, but Tony Stark?
No, just Iron Man.
Because Iron Man's the only thing that matters.
No.
Yeah.
I beg to differ. Tony Stark was... there would be no Iron Man if there was no Tony Stark.
That is a fact, but...
Then you can't...
Is it the new Iron Man a chick?
I can't. Oh, yeah.
Iron Woman?
No, I think she goes by Orange.
It's
weird. I don't know.
Iron Man is now a chick.
They keep changing stuff.
Well, Thor's a chick, too, isn't he, she?
He, she.
So
yeah.
Stay away from that.
What? Why?
Oh, just what... The I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
You know me. I'm interviewing you, so of course I'm going to like push the envelope. That's
I just it's time and place kind of thing. I'd rather talk about critical care, but remind me. Just say the words Dave Chappelle, and I'll remember what I was going to say.
Okay.
I saw you watching that the other day. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been. I think they're hilarious.
Yeah.
If you're going to get it out of me anyway, there's a lot of controversy about both of those stand-up specials that he released.
Right.
And people just got to learn to take a joke, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's just
everybody does.
Yeah.
The guy's getting paid to make people laugh.
Oh, yeah.
You can't take him seriously. Come on, give me a break. But they were hilarious. And if I'm bad for laughing at his stuff, then whatever,
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
But we can talk about that more later.
Yeah. So back to critical care. When's your next event? Or, your next viewing or showing?
So the third Thursday of April, we'll be back out.
So every third Thursday.
Every third Thursday
at Celestial Comics,
and we are going to be. Hold up.
We also have we have our UMC visit.
Yeah, I was actually about to pull up those
which
dates.
Which is I think the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the 15th?
I think it's a Saturday.
I
literally have everything written down at work. Because I live there. So
yeah,
we've I used to be way
shout
more.
out to Wiggler.
I used to be way more like I'd have that. Yeah, so UMC is going to be April 15th.
Yep.
So
which is not open to the public.
Which is weird. Like we're not trying to like promote kids being sick or anything.
No,
So
of course,
we're glad when we don't have a multitude of rooms to visit.
Yeah, we typically don't we don't say. We don't promote hey, we're going to be at the hospital that day.
Right.
But, and then we've got a visit to St. Rose. We just did our St. Rose visit.
Yeah,
didn't
you
we?
just did.
Yeah, we just did. So it'll be next month.
And,
Spider-Gwen, but that was awesome.
Yeah,
I used to go to. So we just recently got a bunch of volunteers, which took a lot of. So I used to wear several hats, like I on top of doing the website and trying to communicate, do the PR type of stuff, and
right.
I was having to take the photos and do the.
Danny was pulling books.
Do the Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram and all that stuff. So now we have a girl who does a really great job with the Instagram. That's all she does.
Hi, Jasmine.
And then Richard is handling most of the Facebook now.
Oh yeah, Richard's great.
And then and the Twitter. So that's taken some stuff off of my plate, which is great. And then they're both actually far more talented photographers than I am, so they've both kind of taken over doing the photography. Sometimes Kayla sometimes does some photography.
Oh yeah.
It's usually just Richard and Jazz now doing the photography, so I don't have to worry about that. And then so now I can focus. I'm redoing on top of all the other stuff I'm doing right now. I'm redoing the website because right now, like, if you go to the website, I mean, it's because we just added Michael and Maggie to the board, relatively recently, with like in the last
Michael is
6-7 months, huh?
He's the hospital.
He's director of hospital relations.
Maggie
Maggie's
is
the secretary.
Yes.
So like before, like Tia was the treasurer and the secretary, and Cody was handling hospital relations and vice president.
Right.
So we're kind of trying to lighten up people's loads a little bit.
Right.
And that's been extremely helpful.
Yeah.
So we can get more things done. Now, as far as like I said, the only other real big volunteer thing is like a videographer or something like that. If we could get somebody who could do that for us, that would be tremendously helpful. Because not only do we would it be nice to put together, like I would like as far as like directing it and kind of telling like, what we would like to have. I'd like to work with someone that maybe can tag along, take some B-roll footage at the hospitals and some of the events, just put together kind of like
see what we do.
Yeah, kind of put together like a promotional thing. But also we've got some, and I don't want to talk about them because every time, unfortunately, Critical Care Comics, we have a great idea and we want to do it. We'll talk to somebody about it, and then they'll go do it without us. And that's happened a few times.
I'm
not going to name any organizations or anything.
No, I have a huge fear of that. That's why I never divulge too much.
So, but we have some really, really good ideas, and we've got some exciting things on the horizon. We just we do need someone who can help us, basically shoot it, edit it, put it together, things like that. So, and we're always, I'd love to, as far as cosplayers go, like she pointed out, we only had 2 people go to the last hospital visit.
Yeah.
It's hard during the week. And,
so if we could,
we get that.
And everybody, so if anybody's interested in joining as a cosplayer, first of all, we have to do a background check.
Yes.
Okay.
Second of all, you have to have a movie quality costume because we want the kids. The whole point is for them to suspend disbelief.
Right, you can't just like cut up a sheet. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
so
you can't put on a toga and walk
the thing,
out.
I'm not Superman. I'm not going to put on a Superman, spandex and walk in there and try to be Superman.
Okay.
So the kids need to suspend disbelief, and so those are like the 2 big things. So I would love for us to get like a Superman, for example. We don't have a Superman.
We don't. No.
Steven needs to get his stuff together.
Oh yeah,
so
my
he
boyfriend
can be.
Steven is hopefully going to be Captain
He needs to be
America
Captain
soon.
America. He looks just like Chris Evans.
He does.
So,
He looks like Chris Evans. He actually served in our military.
Too bad you guys weren't doing this when I was thin. You could have had a Tony Stark.
There you go.
Hey, well, you can. You still can.
I'm gonna slim down, but I have to be heavy for this movie.
And you have to cut your hair.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, Jason already called dibs, but the only thing I could think of if I ever cosplay would be like follow Michael around as J. Jonah Jameson and be like, bring me Spider-Man pictures. Where's Parker?
Damn it, Parker!
How many critical kids and things like that are there? And not that they're things. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. But how many critical patients are typically like in a hospital waiting to be?
It really
it
varies.
depends.
Yeah,
like St. Rose is actually the least. Which
the reason. Let me cut you off real quick. The reason why I'm asking is because Danny was saying that that you only had 2 cosplayers at your last event. Is that?
Well, it wasn't an event. It was a hospital visit.
Hospital
right?
Visit, which are totally different.
Yeah.
Than
Right.
events.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, I'm calling them events, but what I actually mean is a hospital visit. So if you only had 2 cosplayers, it led me to believe that you needed more because there was
necessarily
like are the hospitals like overloaded with critically?
No.
Okay.
No, even like a lot of the times. This is weird, but like when we go, if there's only a couple kids, that's good, man.
That's good. That means
Yeah.
there's not
right.
six
And
kids
and
there.
even whether there's and these kids get big stacks of comics. Also, we'll give them huge stacks of comics. And if there's like only 2 kids there, well then they get like a short
get
box
the whole
each.
thing,
Nice.
But no, it's just and 2 for that visit. I'm actually sure was pretty fine. I'm just saying that. Because it is volunteer based and people have day jobs. For us to keep growing and expanding, do more hospital visits. I would like to be able to have, between the volunteers we have students and then people who work.
Right.
And the only person really with the most flexible schedule is me, and I am like the least useful person for these things now. No, well, I mean, I'm not.
Wow.
I didn't mean it in a bad. I just
This man with high expectations of himself, right there.
I just mean like I'm not a cosplayer.
No.
You know, I'm not like if you look at all the new photos now, how do I word this without like I'm not being down on myself. I'm just saying like I would rather, if I were a sick kid in the hospital, I would rather like see someone like Maggie pulling my books for me than me pulling my books for me.
Oh.
You know, for example.
I
saying.
actually see your point.
I'm just saying.
I actually see your point.
And now that we have people who are better at the social media than I, because me doing the social media for them was just like, we didn't have anybody to do it. I'll do what I can with it to help generate some interest, and it was doing fine while I was doing it, but it's definitely doing way better now that we have one person solely dedicated to Instagram and one person solely dedicated to Facebook.
Okay.
So like I'll come out and pull books, and I enjoy doing that, and but between the people that we have now, I got a face for radio, man. So if I can stay behind the scenes, like I never went. There was probably a year where like Michael and I were in critical care together, and I didn't see him because I never went to the events. All I ever did was the behind the scenes stuff.
Okay.
And then there was like, I can't even remember what happened. Maybe it was when we brought on St. Rose, but something necessitated, hey, we need another book puller.
Right.
And so Jason was like, because Jason the founder normally pulls the books because he's got like a vast knowledge of comics.
He is the most
and so he
brilliant
he took me
comic
under his
person
wing
ever.
for a little bit, and I started pulling books when he couldn't. But as we brought in more people, you know, that wanted to help. You know, I didn't mind stepping back and having you know, the new faces, the younger people kind of help more, while I did more behind the scenes stuff.
Let me interrupt you and clarify. Back when I said, no, I understand your point when you were talking about how you'd rather see the girl pulling the books than yourself. I was speaking as you and I are men, so obviously we'd rather...
Well, not just that. I mean, like, it's not just that. I think
honestly, Danny, if you're critically in critical condition and somebody's willing to...
You want to see titties?
Give
yeah.
Well, if they're dudes, but we see a lot of little kids. Oh, and we haven't even talked about Jessica. Jessica is great. She's a great addition.
Yeah.
Jessica.
Our caricature.
Yes, Jessica.
I was like, have you been moonlighting with these people? And I don't know.
Too many Jessicas.
Jessica is a caricature artist.
She's amazing. Who worked for Disney?
Yeah. She's been doing. A lot of events. You might have met her. She does events with me. The Watching Dead. So she does the zombie caricatures.
I think I've seen somebody sketching something in the background.
Yeah, you know, I found one of mine and my ex. I'm gonna have to have her do a new one of me and Wendy now.
Yeah,
but
oh yeah, congratulations on that! I saw on Facebook.
Congratulations! Oh my God, we're so happy for you.
Now it's not comic book related. Now I can just be a dude and say, we saw all week long that you guys were at Disneyland, and I was freaking highly jealous of that.
Cute.
And then during your Disney trip, all of a sudden, this thing popped up that said, "Danny Ballard's in a relationship."
Yes.
Nice. Way to go, dude.
Yeah.
You guys are so cute together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She
double date.
Yeah, no, we're down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm meeting her family tomorrow.
That's exciting.
Just show them this.
It's not exciting.
Just show them that, These are my
let's not talk about, where were we before we brought that
sorry.
up? Yeah.
I'm sorry that we're happy for you. How dare we?
What's your favorite ride at Disneyland? Quickly.
Man.
Favorite. Don't think about it. Just say it. What is it?
Gosh, I don't know, man.
That's horrible.
I don't know. I haven't been to Disneyland since I was 5 years old, so I don't remember.
So like 2 years ago.
Well, what's your favorite?
Mine would be Pirates of the Caribbean because that's all I remember.
It is boring, but I like it too.
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion is the one.
I ran out of the Haunted Mansion as a kid.
Really?
Yes, I swear to God, my mom. I do remember this. We went to the Haunted Mansion, and the faces started changing on the paintings or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
so you didn't even make it through the elevator.
I guess it was the elevator, and it dropped, and everybody just started going, "Ah!" And my mom said that I started screaming too, and I was freaking out, and she had to rush me out of the emergency exit.
Maybe they changed it. I just did the Haunted Mansion. I don't remember like a drop or anything. But no, my favorite would have to be Hyperspace Mountain. They changed it to Star Wars.
Oh, did they?
And it's really awesome. So, like I don't even remember. I haven't rode the original Space Mountain in years.
Oh, really?
That was close.
So
I
don't even remember what it was like. But the Star Wars
just
version
complete
of it,
darkness. It was complete darkness.
Do you remember the
before.
Star Wars?
Well, it's complete darkness now. But then they have little stars everywhere, and they'll have like projections of like the Death Star and TIE fighters flying at you.
Nice.
It's really awesome.
That's
actually.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
do you remember the Star Wars at Disneyland where C-3PO was like,
Star Tours.
Star Tours.
Star Tours.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people
Yes,
don't know
I
this.
remember
There's
that.
a few different versions of that ride.
Oh.
There's one where the Gungan you go.
There's the one that I went on. You were going to indoor.
See, I haven't been on that one.
Yeah.
So I've been on two. I've been on the one where the Gungans are involved and you go to Naboo, and then I've been on one with Finn where you go to Jakku.
Okay.
So like
Jakku.
however you say it. So I don't know how many of those versions they have, but
Yeah. No, I've only done the indoor one.
I just did the original C-3PO.
Man, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But so what were we talking about before you guys brought up the
I
Disney?
don't remember. You guys brought up Star Wars. Now
I know. Now we're.
Now I gotta. I'm
Oh.
like
Sorry.
Maybe somebody in the chat room can get us back.
Oh
on,
yeah.
on
Has anybody
track.
commented? Or
Roxanne and Jess have been bantering back and forth since Jess has been really quiet during the show. She's been keeping the chatters.
Yes, I would like to hear from Jess
entertained.
because I love Jess. And
Hey Roxanne, if you're not busy, why don't you just call in and shoot the crap with us?
Yeah, dude.
The number's on the screen, or at least here. Let me put it on the screen so
She
you
wants
can.
to donate some stuff, which is really cool.
Hey.
She wants to donate stuff. Why don't you call us up and tell us about what you want to donate?
And I would just like
Roxanne?
to say that Jessy and I have known each other for a few years now, and she's a wonderful person, and I love her so much.
Thank
I really
you.
do.
You talking about my Jessy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
WTF, Frankie? I'm sitting right
is-
here.
She is the one, man. She's.
Well, I feel the same way about you.
Oh, I love you.
Right from the moment when he met her.
Saw her.
Sorry, I got
Oh
that
my
movie
god!
on my
Please
brain.
don't make me sing.
Roxanne, find a phone and call us ASAP.
Don't make me. Don't make me.
Don't
sing.
make us wait. Don't make us feel like we're the stupid kids that don't, unpopular kids that don't get.
But I would like to get back to critical care for just
Yes,
a moment.
of course.
I would just like to say that critical care has absolutely 100% changed my life. It's. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I am not a kid person. I plan to
I never was either.
Not either.
I never plan to have children.
Right.
They annoy the crap out of me
Mm-hmm.
when I'm around them. But
Tell us how you really feel.
no, I am. I am. This is.
You know,
this
I have
is-
4 kids, right?
Yeah, I know. But your kids are cute because you keep them under control, which a lot of people don't do. But anyway, I really am not a big fan of kids, but I don't know what it is about walking into a hospital room and this poor kid, like, why? Why did God or whomever put
Right.
you in this position? And I got my first special request last month.
Oh, yeah?
I think it was last month.
And what was this?
Somebody a child specifically said, "It's my birthday, and if Raven could show up to the hospital for my birthday, that would be the best birthday gift ever." And I wasn't planning on going because I had things to do,
Right.
and my costume looked like shit. So I got a text message from Michael, and he was like, "Dude, we have a special request for you." And I was like, "Oh my god, yes, of course." So I went down to UMC, and this girl's face, I wanted to cry. She didn't cry or anything, but she was just like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh my god, Raven's actually in my room." And it was great because I interacted with her, and she didn't know what to do. She was just so enamored by her favorite superhero showing up, and that's just what I think about every single time that I go to the hospital. Is
Right.
I'm making somebody's day. I'm making somebody smile.
It's an overwhelming thing.
It is. It's so overwhelming that you want to cry when you leave. You really do.
Let me ask you this, Amanda. How long have you been doing this?
I've been cosplaying since 2007.
No. With
critical care,
yeah.
almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. And that's one thing about it is if you would have asked me 2 years ago if I was a kid person, I would have told you no.
Right, yes.
Never, same thing. Never planned on never having them. Just didn't care, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
They're uncontrollable,
They're
and
annoying.
and they're annoying,
Yes.
and I like things that are well contained.
Yes.
And yes, I have experienced kids who were well contained, and I was like, that
Yeah.
kid's
I just
kinda
want to
cool.
say
Yeah,
the views expressed by Frankie almost are his and his alone, and they
Right.
do not reflect the views
Absolutely.
of Daniel Ballard
Absolutely.
or Critical Care Comics.
Absolutely.
The
But I
same
am
for Amanda Nelson sitting next to me. They're her views, hers alone. Kids
But
are great. I love kids. I believe the children are
I haven't
the
gotten to
future.
the pinnacle of my story there.
Treat
sir.
them well and let them lead the way.
Section of chocolate. All right. So when I started doing like character things at hospitals and stuff like that, I have grown to actually like kids.
Yeah.
I actually started DJing for kids with a guy that I know, and was doing a lot of kids parties. And I will say safely that I would rather do a kids party than a karaoke night for even you guys. I love you guys.
Be careful what you wish for.
You.
We did an event. Cody, you weren't at that one. We did an event. It was I can't remember the name of the place, but it was over by where the Onyx Theater used to be, and these kids kept punching him in the groin, just like because he was batting, just kept boom, boom, like in the gut and like everywhere,
wow.
and he was a great sport about it, you know. He's just like
Because Cody's
and then everybody's gone. He's like,
Kevlar.
oh my god, those kids! It was so
I've
funny.
honestly done probably like 50 kids parties in the past
you?
2 years.
You know what else
And
helps with the
They've
whole.
always been contained. They've never been belligerent, and they've never badgered me and forced me to stay, and all the things that my karaoke crowd does. Oh, dude, come on, man! Please, man, just
do
get me
it.
up.
Just do it.
You
Hey,
gotta
just
get
hook
this
me
song.
up,
You gotta
bro.
that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like anytime with the kids, they're like, "Can you play blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't have it." And they're like, "Okay, how about blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "Yep, got that one." And then they just thank me and leave.
Yep.
It's so different.
You know what else helps change your opinion on kids?
What's that?
Having
Having them.
one of your
no.
own.
I think
No.
we're way
No.
past.
No.
We're way
Jessy
past
and
that.
I are no.
No, never. I'm a
No.
cat person. I get lots
Cats. Yes, I have,
I have
six.
cats. I have two
Oh,
cats.
gosh.
You
I
know?
have six.
Cats
Oh,
are
gosh.
great.
Well, I'm
Lucky.
highly allergic to cats, so
Cats are
we will
great.
not be having cats either.
I'm so bummed.
We have
They make
fish.
Benadryl for that, man.
Yeah. Guess what? Cats eat fish.
Yeah, we have fish.
You know, I have a hamster. I've had a hamster for over a year. A cat hasn't eaten that yet. Or only Dorian has a hamster.
That's because he hasn't had access to
Oh,
it.
gosh.
You know, Tangy does look like Sylvester the cat, and sometimes it's like we'll
Tangy
get up
is
there
so
and just
sweet. I love
stare.
Tangy.
Tangy's one of my cats, but
What about kids karaoke? Red asked. I've never done kids karaoke yet.
you know they did that at Sauce. I
Yeah.
know a couple times back when I was working with them.
Yeah.
I
But you know they
where the people are. I'm
see
yeah. So
yeah,
you
kids.
know, Little Mermaid.
Kids are.
Let it go.
But you know what?
Let it go.
Oh, Roland Mobile. They do a family-friendly one now at some place at the Boulevard Mall. I forget the name of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they do it super
Oh.
early. He's always hitting me up like to come. It's like
Mm-hmm.
from 6 to 10. I'm like, so like it's mostly for families and kids and
You know, I'm
stuff.
telling you, Boulevard Mall is coming back finally in
Is it?
Vegas. Yeah, they're opening a Galaxy Theater.
Oh my god, it got so ghetto there. You're telling me it's not so ghetto anymore.
It's not
Nice.
so ghetto anymore, and they have the whole sequestrarium, whatever
Nice.
it is.
They got a Galaxy Theater. You were just saying.
They're opening the Galaxy Theater, and they have this cool little like old school thrift shop, I guess you'd want to
Oh,
say.
really?
And then
Nice.
you go
That's
in,
up
and
my
there's
alley.
like a bunch of old crap. And then if you go into the back, they have a whole bunch of artists, like local artists, mostly
Nice.
Hispanic artists, and then they make beautiful artwork. I'm in love with the Boulevard Mall. I'm sorry. That's been my jam for.
Red says it's still ghetto.
You're freaking ghetto, you ginger bastard.
who better to know? You know.
Well, I live like next door, so.
Oh man. Oh man.
Well, that explains it.
So
What, are you calling me a ghetto bitch, Danny?
No, not at all. You just people who live in the ghetto don't know they're in the ghetto, so it doesn't seem like the ghetto.
The ghetto rules.
so when,
In the ghetto.
back to critical care.
Sorry.
when you guys, we're allowed to stem off and have a little bit of fun. But we are ultimately here for critical care.
Yeah,
but I did have a
around.
question. I did have a question about it. Now I know that a lot of people, when they're ill, they require people to wear masks and things like that. Do you wear masks over your masks?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I think there's even some pictures of that on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes we can't even go in the room.
Yeah.
Sometimes we stand
We have
like
to stand outside.
Yeah.
And we can be like, hi. So imagine
What, like through
there's a
glass or
doorway.
through a door?
There'd
No,
be a
through the door.
doorway,
Okay.
and we just can't cross the threshold into the room. And then sometimes there's like we can't even do that, so we'll just give them comics to give to the kids for
To give
us,
the kids,
like
yeah.
if they're
Nice.
go back.
Okay.
And they can't, because HIPAA. So she knows all about this because she works in the medical field. But we don't ask and they don't tell us.
We don't tell.
Why the kids are there or what's.
I mean,
wrong with
generally
them.
when I go into a hospital room, I can read the hospital board and tell you why the patient's there. But
But then she instantly deletes it from her mind. I mean,
I
we don't
have
pay
to.
attention to that
I
stuff.
have to. It's so hard working in the medical field and going sometimes to a hospital room because you know exactly what's wrong with that person. You just can't say anything. You can't be like, oh, I'm so sorry that you have stage 4
Right.
pancreatic cancer
Right.
and you're a child. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks, but at the same time, you're going in there as a cosplayer or a non-cosplay. Jason is the most amazing person. He goes into a hospital room, not even dressed up, but everybody sees his tattoos. He has Stan Lee tattooed on his arm.
Yeah.
No, Stanley signed his arm
he's-
at Amazing Comic Con,
No,
and that's
he
when
signed
I should.
paper.
I thought he signed his arm, and then he
No,
tattooed over the arm.
He said he had a big
was it the paper?
piece of
Okay.
paper, and he said, write it or sign it as big as
But it's
you
his
can.
actual signature.
It's
Yeah.
his actual signature. And he went down 2 weeks later and had it tattooed on his arm.
Nice.
And then he's got Captain America. He's got all kinds of tattoos that represent what we do. The comic books and the people. And it's just
Well, that's the thing
unbelievable.
with me, and I've talked to Cody about this a lot. Is there are other groups who do the same thing that we do, and
But they're not the same.
but-
They never will be.
right. And we've got some former members who's left and did their own thing, and former affiliates that have left and done their own thing. But the thing with me is none of those people went through what Jason went through. Jason had Jason had cancer.
He had leukemia.
He had cancer, and he went through that and he survived that. And I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I've heard him talk about it
Many times.
many
yes.
times. Where if it weren't for those comics, he probably if he wasn't able to escape. Like the big joke is everybody always send us your X-Force number ones.
X-Force number ones.
but if he didn't have those comics that gave him that escape,
Yeah.
he didn't know if he was going to be able to make it or not. So he relates on a
And Jason
very, very deep
loves to
level.
tell jokes about how he would freak out the nurses when he was in the hospital.
No, he's got so many.
So many.
So unfortunately,
stories.
because he went through so much stuff. So
And he was always in the hospital.
So
on
he's
chemo
he
or-
comes from a real sincere place, and that translates when he's at the hospitals because he does most of the time. Actually, I don't even know anymore because we've got so many new people. But originally, I would say 99% of the time he was pulling the books.
Jason
And
was
the
pulling the
other
books,
1% was me. But now we have more people now, so doing it.
But when Jason comes, it's just amazing. And Tia, I have to say, Tia, Jason's wife, as Supergirl, when she comes in, she is a beacon of light. I mean, she comes in. When I started off new as Rogue, Tia was there.
Why do you say it like that?
I say it because nobody knows
She
who
didn't just
Rogue
say it like that, she
is.
went-
I do.
I went, you know who Rogue is, but kids that are 10 years old have no freaking clue.
They need
who
to
Rogue
bring.
is.
Older,
They
yeah.
need to do how they have Teen Titans, these little weird cartoony versions, they've done several versions of them. But is it the Cartoon Network one where it's kind of like Powerpuff Girl animation?
Oh, you mean the
They
Teen
need to-
Titans Go?
Yeah, they need to do something like that with. Well, that's what's always on at the hospitals.
I know.
They need to do something like that with the X-Men, so these kids know who Rogue is, because
Who Rogue is.
your Rogue is on point.
My
it
Rogue
really
is.
is.
Amazing.
It
I'm
is on
sorry.
point.
I know. But
It's so good.
So I'd go in with Tia, Jason's wife, and she's like, "Have a super day," because she's Supergirl, and I'm like, "Have a
Rogue of a time.
a rogue-tastic time, and she's like, you just be a rebel like Rogue. And I'm like, oh my god. No, have a super day instead. But now that I'm Raven, it's easier. It's have a magical month because Raven is a magical person.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay.
But I love you, Tia, and Jason, and Cody, and Michael. Who else we got? Min.
Yvette.
Yvette.
our
Oh my
Wonder
god,
Woman.
Yvette. Yvette is our Wonder Woman. Damn. That girl is gorgeous.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Am I supposed to? This is my cue to volunteer my videography services, right?
Yeah. Oh,
You?
please.
No, you're busy. You got enough stuff going on. No,
Exactly. I got too many irons in the fire.
Yeah,
so.
you know, really, ideally, I'd like, you know, we've been getting a lot of. It's always nice to inject some youth because Jason and Cody and I, we're all like Gen Xers. We're
Well,
older.
Cody just freaking had twins. Yay, bad twins!
Yeah, and so like I'd like to get you know like the Jazz who's doing our Instagram. She's
Jasmine is beautiful.
She's you know she's more in touch with the millennials.
Oh my god, and I
guess you could
can't
say.
wait to see Savannah as
Anna.
Squirrel Girl.
Anna, it's just Anna.
Anna. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just Anna. That's fine.
Yeah.
Anna. I would love to see Anna as Squirrel Girl at the hospital. I think that'd be great. Her tail.
Well, I think
is
that falls under
everything's
like
great.
you know I mean although I'm looking forward to it too. I'm not trying to downplay it any, but you know.
Pressure.
No. But so, like, what's the difference between Rogue and Squirrel Girl? I guarantee you more people know who Rogue is than Squirrel Girl.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so. Come on. What are you
Oh
getting
my
at?
god,
Okay.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know who Squirrel Girl was until like last month.
Really?
Yeah.
So
But
it's
you
just
knew who
it's
Rogue
you know
was.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
For years I've known who Rogue
Or
was.
you know, it's a age thing. But back to what I was getting at is I'd like to maybe I don't know if someone is in film school maybe or someone goes to the art institute or
Scott Hilton.
someone younger who's got maybe more time or you know what I mean? Because like
Right.
I know
What's on their
how
plate, yeah.
hard. I know how much work that is. I know how hard it can it can be. So unless you're either kind of like you're a bigger place that's got a staff, you can delegate some help to us, or if you're like a starving student and you need to get some exposure, you want to get your work out there, or if you need hours as an intern or things like that. But no, Frank, I wasn't trying to. If I wanted you to help, I'd just flat out ask you, hey man,
Yeah,
can you
no,
do this?
Hey,
But
Frankie, do this.
you need to work on this some more.
Yeah. No, I think what it is that Fat Beard, or Danny, as we know him as, he wasn't catching my point that you were just saying how gorgeous some of your cosplayers were, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
She's just
so
not-
this is my
she's
cue to
just, you know,
volunteer my services.
beauty's in the eye of the
Yeah.
beholder, man.
Well,
I got the most.
And our
I got the
cosplayers are
most.
beautiful. Jessica, you are beautiful.
I got the
love
most.
You. You know I love you to death.
Me, I win.
Yeah, you do win. But when it comes to critical care, our women are beautiful. And it kind of sucks that all of our men are behind masks.
Well, that's
Like
that's life,
Spider-Man,
sweethearts.
Batman, Deadpool. Who else we got? That's behind masks.
Batman's behind the mask.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why you guys want a Superman.
Oh, I do want to say, Critical Care did something that was a little out of its normal. I got a message from my friend Amy Day. And she sent me a message that she had recently heard about a friend's kid dying. Like a very young kid, maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe 6, 7, something like that. And she sent me a message and said, look, they're having a funeral. Is it at all possible to have Batman or Spider-Man or somebody there, you know,
Wow.
to represent this poor kid? And it was Batman related. So I reached out and I said, hey, look, Cody, Batman, Jason, Michael, who is willing to do this? And Cody, God love him, immediately reacted and was like, you know what? Besides the hospital visits, this is the other side of critical care. I mean, these parents lost a child to SIDS, unfortunately.
So sad.
And we all went to the funeral, and it was me as Raven, Michael as Spider-Man, and Cody as Batman, and Cody knows better than everybody. We're sweating the entire time. They actually asked Critical Care Comics to carry the casket.
Oh my gosh.
So there are photos, I don't know where, but there are photos of Spider-Man and Batman carrying this.
Was this during my heart attack? I don't know anything about this. When was this?
Wow.
I don't know.
It's the first time hearing it.
Oh, really?
That's
No.
heavy.
I
heavy.
posted in the critical care.
This had to be during my heart attack or
I think it
something.
was
Yeah.
actually, and so I watched Cody, Batman, and Michael, Spider-Man, carry this poor child's casket to his actual grave. But you know what? I know you say "geez" and you're
Well,
like,
that's
"Oh,
awesome,
I'm so
man, if you
sad."
think about
but
it.
it is so awesome because
Yeah.
the parents were like, "Oh my God, Batman and Spider-Man just literally put my son in the ground."
Wow.
And they were so happy, and the family was photographed. It actually was a beautiful thing. If you can think about
I
death
definitely
as a
understand
beautiful
what you're
thing.
saying, but
Yeah.
it still is
It's
like,
still a little
wow.
weird, yeah, I know. But that's what critical care is there for.
So
We are there for hospital visits. We are also there for times of need. Do you need a Batman? Do you need a Spider-Man?
This is why you guys need a GoFundMe account. I'm serious.
actually
You guys
really down
really
for
need
that.
to do that.
well, I think. Well, here's the thing. We're waiting.
For the 501.
We filed for it last year. Still haven't got it back yet. So right now, legally, we are a Nevada nonprofit corporation.
Nevada only.
And
Right.
the only place we can legally take money, my understanding, is here in Nevada.
No,
so once
I'm
we get
pretty
the,
positive that GoFundMe has a nonprofit donation.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
option.
Our owner, or the founder rather, is worried about like taxes and stuff. So I think once we get the because we're receiving money and everything.
Right.
So once we get that letter back from the federal government,
Yeah.
Trust me, you're gonna, my Facebook feed is gonna be full of donation
Yeah.
links
Me too.
because we can't right now. You can't even donate money through the website because PayPal. Even though we've sent them a copy of our charter showing that we are a Nevada nonprofit corporation, they won't let us donate as a nonprofit without sending them a copy of the 501c3,
Well, there,
which we should have any day now.
There's ways around the money thing. Maybe not go through GoFundMe, but like you could have people like donate gas, donate
absolutely.
food, donate
Yes.
things that you need in life, things to keep people functioning. Because I mean, I know you guys all have jobs and everything.
As long
but
as it's
some people
Nevada
that
based.
like right now, the things that we need, we've been looking. In fact, I just looked at a spot yesterday. Cody.
Storage.
Yeah. I mean, well, not just storage. Like we're looking for like a, like the place I looked at yesterday had like 100 square foot office and a 200 square foot warehouse, which is not. It's very. And the reason I was looking at it is because like we can't afford much. So and that was like
Right.
$400 a month. Ideally, we'd like to get something bigger with like a bigger storage space, and then just like a small like an office in the front, maybe with a bathroom. So we can,
Right.
so when we do need to do work, but we just have a place that we can go. Right now, we've got tens of thousands of books split between my garage and Jason's garage. And
yeah.
Jason's about to move,
Yeah.
so those books got to go.
So we need a place to go.
So we really, really do need a place. Like if there are any realtors out there who see this, or anybody who's got something that kind of fits that description for
real.
rent, or maybe even here, if there's a space here, it doesn't have to be warehouse. In fact, I'd kind of, with a climate controlled environment, it'd be better for the books.
For the books, yeah.
And I don't want to turn people off when I said we have tens of thousands of comics. I don't want to turn people off because we still need comic books.
you need.
The thing is, like, we have a
We need
lot
comics.
of books. We have a lot of things that have been donated to us that we simply cannot give the kids.
Right.
For one reason or another. So, and that's something
Whether
else
it
to
be
keep in mind.
inappropriate Deadpool or
Yeah, whether it's
Right.
inappropriate, whether maybe like we got a lot of. It's really weird. We got a lot of comics that we thought were comics that have no pictures in them. So they look like comic books. You open them up and they're just like books.
Interesting.
not that we don't appreciate that stuff, because we do use everything that we get.
Appreciate
Like when we do like
everything that we
events,
get,
Right.
literally.
we'll put together prize packs of stuff that we can't give the kids, or sometimes we'll
Right.
raffle stuff off.
It's better to have and not need.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that kind of thing.
But so like as far as like so that's why it's either like money, so we can pay for a new
Right.
storage facility, office area. Or if like I said, if there are any lawyers, accountant, like there's so much logistic. Like all we wanted to do, like so in the beginning, or when I joined about 5 years ago, it was Jason, Tia, Cody, and me.
Yeah, that was it.
And then and I had taken over for there were like 2 or 3 other people, one of whom I never even met, that were kind of helping out with stuff. And then there was a point where Jason threw it, like he turned off the Facebook page. He kind of threw in the towel. There was a post about how all we're trying to do is help kids, and it's just it's because there's so much work involved that people don't think about. Like it took, like we didn't have a lawyer to help us out. We didn't have someone to help us with filing. That was just all like, and somehow it ended up on me to do. I'm not. I'm one of those guys where like I want to help.
Right.
So I'll do what I can, I tried, but it took a very, very long time, and we still haven't even got it back yet. So I hope I did it right. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of help. Like if it's not money or comic books,
though, Danny, is because of tax season.
and probably, but. It did take me like 6 months to do the thing, just because it's volunteer. I'm trying to do it in my part-time, and I also own a business.
And that's the other thing about critical care is that we are volunteer based.
Yeah.
I mean, we do what we can when we can.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at. So if more people, it's great. People hit us up all the time. Hey, I want to be a cosplayer. Hey, I'd love to pull books, or hey, I'd love to maybe help you out with your social. Like we got all that stuff covered. Like we need like the kind of things we need now are logistical things people don't think about. We need people who can help us with, legal things, tax things, getting a storage space if there's anybody.
Right.
And Maggie's been great with that, but she needs additional help too, because she has a full-time
she has a full-time job.
Exactly,
Yeah.
she has a full-time job.
Yeah.
She has a life too. So anybody else that's willing to come in and say, "Hey, I can help you with this. Hey, I can help you with that," we are willing to accept that help and see where it goes from there.
Yeah. So like right now, I know like end of May. So like we're kind of in the hot seat. We got to find a place.
Yeah.
Like a storage facility,
We find a
office
place.
before the end of May. That's kind of our big thing right now. And then this video thing. If anybody can help with that there's some exciting opportunities for us if we just could get some people to help with that.
Right.
And then maybe somebody look over the tax stuff, because I don't know anything about that. So.
Yeah, anybody that's legal,
Yeah.
please. Hello.
Yeah. I think like right now, for example, like Jason's our registered agent, but I don't think he would know what to do with that. So like if there's an attorney who'd like to volunteer
Jason's
to be
a
registered
chill
agent.
back type of person. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna go do this." And I'm
Well, that's the thing is like when they started this, and so like what I was getting at is like when Jason kind of was like, look, all we're trying to do is help people. There was, I remember reaching out to him. I was like, look, man, you can't let other people bring you down. You can't let these obstacles stop you from what you're doing. What you're doing is a beautiful thing. It's a great thing. What can I do to help? And it was more like he just didn't want to deal with like the logistical, legitimate, like the thing, like becoming the 5. Like I said, I'll be with these guys 5 years in June, but we just filed, like we just became legit last year. When I say legit, I mean like we weren't. We were taking comic book donations and stuff, but we weren't, anytime people try to give us money, I had witnessed it several times. We did this event at the museum, which was the Children's Museum. People would try to give us money, and Jason would just flat out say, no, we're not taking money right now. We're good on that, So just because he just, you know, he didn't know what the rules are. He doesn't want to break any rules.
Right.
I hear you. You know, it's just really weird when you try to do something good. Like there's always somebody who wants to come in and be like, oh, hey, you're breaking the law. You're doing this wrong. It's like, dude, all we're trying to do is something cool.
Something cool, and nobody likes something cool. You know? People just like to tell people what to do. Right?
Yeah. So that's you know, we just if we find someone to help us, just make sure that we're doing things the right way.
Yeah.
You know, I guess.
We have somebody that has some comic book knowledge. Why don't you come in here just for a second, bro?
Who?
We have my partner in crime here at the...
It's Howie!
Wow, you just blew all my listeners out. This is the first time they could actually hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just put my glasses on.
Howard Rolling. Why don't you just step in frame real quick to just say hello, Howard?
Hi, Howie.
Let's see. Yeah, there you are. Okay.
So, Amanda, there's a question from the chat room.
Oh.
It's, Amanda, what is your favorite
my
cosplay
phone died. Sorry,
you've ever done, and why?
My favorite cosplay would absolutely have to be Sailor Pluto from Sailor Moon. I've been a Sailor Moon fan I'm about to age myself, but I've been a fan for 20 years. And Sailor Pluto was a very important character to me because, you know, as every angsty teenager knows, she was the lone soldier, the lone senshi that guarded the gates of time. And also she's really hot because she has green hair.
The individual that asked you that question said lame. So.
Is it fucking red?
It was.
Of course it was fucking red. Fuck you, you ginger bitch.
All right, so Jessica Jones has had a little bit too much to drink.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
That's the life of Jessica Jones.
So.
Hi, Howie. It's good to see you again. I haven't seen you in a very long time. What the fuck?
What are you doing, sir?
I just got off work.
Yeah, you hanging out or what?
Not really.
You catching a ride with me or you catching a ride with them?
I'm not sure.
You can catch a ride with me if you want. And you
so
can invade the show too a little bit.
I have to say, Howie does an amazing. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the body.
Wow.
I can't do it like him.
Damn you! Stop it!
But Howie's amazing. I remember him from Double
See, the
Shot
thing is, we're doing this special thing, so we've let it go over. It's for Critical Care Comics, and so we're not going like with our just standard hour thing. I want everybody to get everything that they possibly can into this, and not only that, but they've been talking all this manga shit, and you know, I don't know anything, and you've got freaking first edition this and that's and whatnot.
Oh, hey,
he's got things that would creep you out. On top of where the video, where we keep the DVDs, sir, there's some stacks of stuff up there. Yeah, you can vape in here. Yeah. Sorry we let the show get off track there for a second, but like I said, we're not following any formula today.
No, because this is just fun. First of all, I would like to say this is friends catching up after a long time, too.
Yeah.
Like Frankie and Jessy and I have been friends for a very long time, and I'm just so glad to be with you guys again.
Of course, yeah, us too.
I mean, Double Shots was... second home, basically, and I'm just really glad to be with you guys. And Danny, you fuck, I love you to death. You were Double Shots, Timeout, E Strings,
Sauce.
I mean, you were Sauce. You were everywhere.
And let's not forget High Score.
High Score. No,
High Score.
Let's forget High Score.
Insert coins back when they were.
Oh my God! I'm so sad. Insert.
Yeah,
coins
that's a
gone.
bad one.
Oh,
that's a bad one.
So sad.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm so discombobulated
Jessica
here.
Jones also fucking vapes.
Oh, what I wanted to say when you were talking about seeing us again, we were really surprised and elated and shocked when we started seeing that you were donating things to us and sending us packages. And I was like, holy crap, because for those of you that don't know, I got to use it in an episode. Thank you. That's my favorite saying. For those of you that don't know, we've known Amanda for a long time, but we lost touch and hadn't talked to her in probably a solid year, I think.
Yeah. Some shit went down.
Yeah, as it usually does.
But other than that, it's really hard. I love Frankie and Jessy very much. I've known them for a long time, and Jessy in particular, I've I've loved her from the moment I met her, and I knew that you guys were like perfect for each other because she is so sweet. And her and I, is it okay to talk about like the?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Jessy and I both understand the issues of bipolar and depressive state. And Jessy, I'm just finding out that finally got on some medication that helps her. And I'm very glad to hear that because I did the same finally as well. It's been about 5 or 6 months since I finally got on some medications to, regulate. Because you know what? You can't go to a hospital, see sick kids. You can't freaking work in a doctor's office and see sick people with cancer all the time and not have it affect you at all.
It's going to get to you.
So it does. It does get to you. And that's one thing that Jessica and I have always understood about each other is that we don't make each other feel uncomfortable, but we actually feel very comfortable with each other. And I love that about her. And Frankie, you have been a friend of mine for a long time, in a very difficult part in a relationship. My best friend Elisa made me go to, at the time, Hot Shots.
Right.
And she was like, "Oh, it's Hawaiian night, woo!" And we got some Jägermeister, like, underwear and other shit, and it was totally great. And then I got to meet you, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's totally cool." And then here comes Jessy, and it was a great part of our lives. It was a great part of my life.
Yeah,
I
we
would
agree.
have to say.
Same with us.
And I'm so sad that Shots is gone. Bring Shots back. But either way, I'm very glad that both of you are happy and doing well.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate
I really do. It's been a long time since I've seen you guys. What, like 2 years?
I think you've seen.
Oh no,
us
I saw you at the closing of
Double
Shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as actually hanging out, probably a good 2 years.
Yeah. Shit happens.
Yeah. It
But
does.
Frankie was there when I attempted to sing in Japanese at a Japanese festival.
That was at Akimatsuri.
That would be hard.
Yeah, I didn't even place. It was bad.
Hey, but you gave it a whirl, and that's all you can do in life.
Right.
And most people wouldn't even know what they were singing or even bother to learn Japanese. That was a commonality that you and I had was Japanese.
It was Japanese, and speaking of which, I am going to Japan next year.
Nice.
Finally, after
Have you
20
brushed
years.
up on your Japanese skills?
Hi. So
Hi.
this. But I will be practicing more. My friend Catherine Brower. Oh, love that bitch. We've been friends since, I want to say 7th grade. And she actually went to the JET program, JET, Japanese English Teaching, and she spent 5 years there in Japan. And I told her she's going through kind of a shitty breakup right now. And I was like, bitch, let's go to Japan. I've never been there. I've been fantasizing about it for 20 years. Have you been there?
Yes.
I've been there as well.
I
was
know
little.
You have.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had.
I was born right by there.
I thought you were born in Korea.
Yeah. Yep. We're neighbors with Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought the Koreans hated the Japanese.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't spend my time caring what people like.
So I told Kat, I was like, hey, Kat, let's go to Japan. She said, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And so I started researching. And I'm the morbid bitch that's like, let's go to the suicide forest.
Oh, that...
At the base of Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm like, let's cross the no entry line. She's like, you want to do weird shit? Let's do weird shit.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I really want to go to Osaka and eat. I just want to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. And then, so eventually it's going to start off going to Tokyo, and then Osaka, and then Kyoto. Oh,
Kyoto is
Kyoto.
Oh my, that was my favorite part of the trip.
That's
was
what.
Kyoto.
That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Going to Kyoto, and then we're going to go to Fukuoka. Yes, Fukuoka, where
Hey, you
tonkotsu
Fukuoka,
ramen
right?
was invented.
Nice.
And we're going to have freaking tonkotsu ramen. I'm so excited. So,
You're going to go Fukuoka yourselves.
I'm going to Fukuoka myself. I really want to stay in one of those capsule hotels.
Oh, yeah, those little
Where it's just
claustrophobic
like
castles.
a freaking, like, it's a coffin, basically.
Yeah.
And then I want to go to an onsen. I want to go to a Japanese bathhouse. But guess what? The problem is, I have ink. And most onsens in Japan, this is Yakuza. If you have ink, you can't freaking go to a bathhouse. So, Kat's trying to find me a specific bathhouse that I can go to that accepts ink
Nice.
without being
I'm sure they'll
Yakuza.
find something.
Oh, definitely. With as much ink that's going around nowadays, I'm sure that you will find
You'd
it.
be really surprised.
Well, Japan is a lot more conservative, yeah.
Yes.
Actually, one of the things that I admire about them. But, okay, so let's get back to critical care
sorry.
because I want you guys to be able to plug it a little bit more before we get out of here.
Yes.
So go ahead and direct us to phone numbers, websites, and things of that nature.
That's why I brought him.
Again, the website, you can go to criticalcarecomics.vegas. You can find us on Twitter. It's CC Comics, the number 4 kids on Twitter, because Critical Care Comics was too long for a Twitter handle. Instagram, we're Critical Care Comics. Facebook, we're Critical Care Comics. So you can
also look up Vegas Batman.
What is that?
That's
Cody's.
That's Cody. You can look up mine, which is Amanda Setsuna Cosplay on Facebook. Does anybody else have?
Tia's Vegas
Tia,
Supergirl
Vegas
on
Supergirl.
on Facebook. Her Twitter's private though, which I believe. So
that's fine.
It's the same thing. Vegas.
But I mean,
Supergirl.
there's so many ways to donate to critical care, like money, comic books, toys, whatever you want to donate. You can donate to critical care. Like we will take it.
Great.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
We will take it all.
We want to thank you guys so much for coming down.
Yes, thank you.
No, thanks
you
for having
us.
I'm so glad to see you guys.
Not only that, but we want to thank you guys for what you do, because what you do is important.
Yep.
And that's kind of why I was pushing the donation thing, because I don't like to. I know you guys have been doing this 5 years and stuff, but when you volunteer for a long time, it does start to weigh on you, and you start to wonder, do I have the time for this on my plate and stuff like that. And I just think that and I'm not talking about money here. I'm just talking about like
time.
Needs and the things that you need.
Yeah, I tell you what, I can't thank Richard and Jasmine enough.
Oh yes,
because they really have taken a huge burden off my plate, handling. And they're just, especially Jasmine's just way better.
Oh yeah,
but that's what she goes. She goes to
everywhere.
school specifically for managing a nonprofit and things like that. So she's been tremendously helpful. So like I said, we just find someone to help us out with some videos. Maybe someone help point us in the right direction with some of the legal tax stuff, and maybe someone who could help us find a spot that doesn't cost us too much. So we can keep our operating costs down. So we have a place to keep the comics, because I mean, right now, like this has happened a lot where people want to get comics, for a hospital visit, and they either have, like, Jason lives up in Centennial Hills, so you got to go all the way up there, and I live over by Henderson,
and I live central,
and so the comics are either at my place or Jason's place, and being a business owner, and I keep saying single dad. I mean, I just got a girlfriend a couple days ago, so it's just a habit. But I saw you have 2 kids. I take care of full time. On top of having my own business, I have to pick my. I'm not complaining at all. I wouldn't change anything. But there's 2 set things every day I have to do. I got to take Dorian to school because he goes to a private school, so I have to take him to school in the morning. I got to pick him up at 2:00 every day.
Right.
So. Sometimes my schedule doesn't work out when someone needs to come to the house to get comic books. So if we had a central location where everybody had access to it, they don't have to worry about my schedule or Jason's schedule or things like that. So
it's like, oh, hey, let's hook up with Danny. Danny has the comics. Oh, hey, Jason has the comics. Let's go there. Yeah, exactly.
So we're just trying to do things to help streamline what we do, but we can't. we can't afford, like, so, gosh, one of these spots I looked at that would have been perfect was like $947 a month. I was like, man, we can't afford that. That's
Right.
So.
No, because all of our donations that come in, we legitimately put towards, comic books or toys.
Yeah, that's all Tia. I mean, like, I don't know.
Tia's the best.
Yeah, I don't know what we're right now. I mean, I know that like at Jason's place, the storage costs something.
Oh yeah.
So they like I don't know about any of the money stuff. I mean, like we have to buy flyers. We got these shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Red said in the room that he wants a CCC shirt.
We don't.
Fuck
they're not,
you.
Hey. Simmer down. We don't sell the shirt. The shirts are exclusively for volunteers. We don't want it to,
So you got to volunteer, Red, if you want a shirt.
Yeah, and honestly, Red, I love you, man, but no, just don't.
No,
even try.
we're done.
Yeah. It's just, I know. I mean, I don't even think you'd pass the background check. So don't.
Oh, wow.
You ginger.
No, I'm kidding, Red. I'm kidding.
We love you. Not really, but
Totally
yes.
kidding.
All right, guys. Thank you again so much for coming
No,
out.
thank
We
you so
appreciate it.
much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And you guys are welcome back anytime.
Yeah,
if
you
want.
still owe. I don't want to plug my business at all, so
Right.
I'm going to name it by name. But
Okay.
you still got to have me back on here
Of course,
to talk
man. Of course.
actual
Absolutely, man.
business instead of
Absolutely. We are getting a little bit behind schedule ourselves. We're pretty backed up ourselves. We have guests for the next 3 or 4 episodes, which is...
Has Jocelyn done your show yet?
Jocelyn has not, but she is
I just-
invited, and she did say that she would.
I
so.
just did her show recently.
Yeah. How'd
Don't
that
listen.
go?
Don't listen to it.
Why?
Well, they get you drunk while you're doing it. You start with shots, and then they do this trivia. I mean, I had a lot of fun, but the picture she posted a picture. I was passed out. By it was, and then I went back and listened to it, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I said all that stuff. There's a lot of. I dropped 2 names I wish I hadn't dropped.
Oh man.
I divulged some private information.
So it's like drunk texting.
I probably shouldn't
in
have
the
divulged.
public
Drunk
eye.
podcast.
Yeah, and it's out there forever now.
Oh my god.
I would
But
like
like,
to say-
and to Jocelyn's credit, because she and I have a past or whatever, and she just she just brought it up right away. It was like right out the gate. It's just like, just so everybody knows. I'm like, oh wow, we're going there. So,
Oh wow.
So yeah, so
Okay.
it's like lots of drinking. It was a good time, but it was yeah.
So I would like to say before we end,
Of course.
Scott Tilton is my friend and my personal photographer, and I have learned very recently that I do not want to shoot with anybody else but Scott. But Scott and I also started a photo campaign for Cosplay is Not Consent. And this is a big thing because, especially being rogue in a bodysuit, people seem to think that it is okay to touch women inappropriately in
Right.
cosplay, and this has become a huge thing. I even took a picture at Salt Lake with a giant freaking sign that says cosplay is not consent, and this all started from a podcast that me, Scott, Josh, John, Anthony, I think Kathy was there. I'm not sure. Marlon, the group, was there. And I really want to touch on this.
Well, that might be a good
because-
topic for another podcast.
okay.
Maybe you could bring
Sure.
him on.
I would
Yeah,
love to bring
yeah.
Scott, but
Yeah.
but Scott is my personal photographer, and I love him to death. And I just want to give major shout out to him because he takes beautiful, beautiful photographs.
Awesome.
And, yes.
Yeah, bring him on. Let's
I'd
do
love
it.
to. Scott, let's go. Bruh, come on. Hey. So yeah.
Yep. Open invitation, of course.
Open invitation.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
out.
you.
Thank
Thank
We
you so
love you
much.
guys.
We love
Yes,
you
we
too.
do.
And like I said, you guys are welcome back anytime. For the rest of you, we wanted to say that we hope you're having a great Friday and that we love you and thanks for watching and listening. We actually kind of wished we would have had phone calls, but we know that a lot of people aren't in a situation
It's
right now that we
Friday.
can call. They're in a bar or something like that, which we had some people that were saying that they weren't in a situation where they could call. Roxanne, however, was too shy to call, but she watches the show religiously. Oh, we got a phone call. Look at that, just like that. Let's see who this is. Hello?
Hey.
Hi. What's with the echo?
It's fucking Danny, man.
We just got a call from our actual guest. So.
Just wanted to make sure it was working.
Oh,
that's
it's
all.
working. It's
It
working.
took me a second. I was like, huh? What's
It's one of
that?
those.
I can do this too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do
Somebody
it.
should have called. Nobody called.
Nobody.
Surprised
called.
my son didn't call.
Right.
Bust
You
my
know.
balls.
Oh, we got another call. Here we go. Let's see what
It has
this
to go
is.
under my wig.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me switch to a 2-cam shot here. What's up? Who is this?
Oh my god, my name is Jessica Jones. I can't
See how it's
wow.
echoing and it's hard to talk? And he says,
Critical Care Comics. That's all you need to know. Critical Care Comics. www.criticalcarecomics.vegas.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Now
that's
we've been plugged in like a Coliseum baseball atmosphere. All right, you guys.
I hung up.
Remember that sign? Remember that sound?
It's been
Yeah,
a
when I
while.
got
That's a sound that most
disconnected
people
from the
don't hear.
internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're busy.
All right, guys. We love you guys, and thank you guys for watching, everybody, and we will see you on Tuesday at 6 p.m. I don't remember who our guest is, or else I would tell you who it is, so just look for my posts,
Because
or
we're the
we'll
best.
be doing the post. So, love you guys, and take care. Jess, you want to say anything for the first time in 3 hours?
Oh, sorry.
Just have a great night. Stay safe and
And I
love
love
over
you.
hate. Love you.
Love over hate.